universe of beer and music.
Hey everybody, DrTangent back with another episode. This time we're wandering off into the mysterious world of smoothie style beers again. I know, not the first time, probably won't be the last. But anyway, tonight we're looking at a collaboration that one of the breweries I'm somewhat familiar with, and the other brewery, sad to say, I can find literally nothing about. Tried contacting them directly, even for some more information, and didn't get a reply. So unfortunately, of the two breweries, all I can tell you about Claim 52 is that they're from Eugene, Oregon, and they describe their efforts as outrageous beers and delicious food. That's all I got. The other brewery, on the other hand, is RAR out of Cambridge, Maryland. These self-described local boys brewing local beers, well-balanced American brews, 10 barrels at a time. They were started back in 2013. I've had a few of their beers, and they're really good. They did. What really cracks me up about, well, what leads to this collaboration is RAR does a series called the Out of Order series, which some of you might maybe kind of recognize the little dog in the stocking cap. If you're old, like me, you may recall with fondness the existence of slush puppy machines. Back where I grew up, they were featured a lot at Dairy Queens for some reason, and some convenience stores. But they were essentially like Slurpee machines, if you're more familiar with Slurpees. But they not quite as bad as McDonald's milkshake machines, ice cream machines. Slush puppy machines did have a tendency to break down. So RAR has a series of slush puppy flavor inspired fruit smoothie sours that they call Out of Order. And there's Out of Order this, Out of Order that. But that leads to this, which is a collaboration along those beer lines with Claim 52 out of Oregon called Stuffed. This particular Stuffed is peach milk. So that's going to be interesting. Comes in at 6.5% ABV. It's a smoothie pastry sour brewed with milk sugar and conditioned on peach puree. Interesting side note about RAR. They opened the laboratory right next door to their tap room where they can explore the spirits side of the adult beverage world. They just felt like the vibe in their own brewery tap room just didn't lend itself well to cocktails. So when the property next door became available, they jumped on that and turned that into a really cool looking cocktail bar. So if you find yourself down in the Cambridge, Maryland area, look them up. So let's crack this baby open and take a look. As with other fruit smoothie sours, you do want to give it a gentle rolling end to end to try to rouse some of the sedimentation that may have occurred from the bottom of the can. And again, just like any heavily fruited beer and heavily sugared beer, you want to watch how the vendor you're purchasing it from stores it. These need to be shipped cold and stored cold at all times. Otherwise, there is always a chance that you will get some secondary fermentation going on inside the can. If it gets too warm in there, the yeast, leftover yeast in the beer will reactivate. And you can actually see just a touch, a little bit of activity in there. See? The yeast will reactivate and start eating those excess sugars which can overcarbonate and cause geysers. Beautiful, thick, creamy looking glass of peachy, orangey, pink, pretty active head, very, mostly very large bubbles, dissipating fairly quickly, which is to be expected in this type of beer. But as you can see, there's just no way you're seeing through that. It is opaque. Oh man. I don't want to say overpowering, but definitely very pungent, creamy peaches and cream type of aroma. You don't get much other than peaches and vanilla. Uh, and if you can smell creaminess, you would smell it. Outstanding, first off. You get a lot of peach. It's not a real like peach candy flavor. I don't want to say fresh peach flavor, but it's closer to fresh peach flavor than it is like peach rings or something like that. You get some of the vanilla. You get a lot of mouthfeel. Very thick, full mouthfeel, like a fully melted milkshake. It's sweet pretty much all the way through. There's a little bit of tartness on the back end, and maybe just the whisper, just a whisper of like maybe an earthy hop note coming through way in the back of the palate. Very full bodied. The carbonation, as you can imagine, it's there, but it certainly has trouble coming through the thick, viscous character of the beer. But if you really look for it, you can find it. You know, it's funny. I had a 4 pack of one of the other Out of Order series that I took with me when I went up to Mount Olympus one time, and it was not well received. Apollo was astonished, and Dionysus thought me mad. But anyway, so what are we going to pair with this sweet peachy concoction? Overripe, but enjoyable. Well, stay tuned and you will see. Well, folks, if you were hoping for something from the Super Mario Brothers movie right now, you're not going to get it. I apologize. No, we are going with a song about peaches. This is from the Seattle alt rock, pop punk, post grunge band, the Presidents of the United States of America, aka PUSA, aka Pot USA, aka the Presidents. Started in 1993. Uh, don't have a huge They don't have a huge discography. They don't have a huge discography. They don't have a huge discography. They don't have a huge library of music. but they've done very well for themselves. So let's get into it.
Moving to the country, I'm gonna eat a lot of peaches. I'm moving to the country, I'm gonna eat me a lot of peaches. I'm moving to the country, I'm gonna eat a lot of peaches. I'm moving to the country, I'm gonna eat a lot of peaches. Peaches come from a can, they were put there by a man in a factory downtown. And if I had my little way, I'd eat peaches every day. Sun-soaking bulges in the shade. Moving to the country, I'm gonna eat a lot of peaches. Moving to the country, I'm gonna eat a lot of peaches. Moving to the country, gonna eat a lot of peaches. Moving to the country, gonna eat a lot of peaches. I took a little nap with a loose old twist, squished a rotten peach in my fist, and dreamed about you, woman. I pulled my finger down inside, make a little room for an ant to hide. Nature's candy in my hand, or can, or pie. Millions of peaches, peaches for me. Millions of peaches, peaches for free. Millions of peaches, peaches for me. Millions of peaches, peaches for free. Look out! Millions of peaches, peaches for me. Millions of peaches, peaches for free. Millions of peaches, peaches for me. Millions of peaches, peaches for free.
So how was that? That was fun, right? That was Peaches, Presidents of the United States of America. That was the third single off of their debut album from 1995. That album actually did go triple platinum, mainly on the backs of the success of Peaches and the success of Lump, which you may or may not recall. Link will be in the description. They did have a kind of an off and on career. From 93 to 98, they were active, and then there was some downtime. And then again from 2002 to 2015. Very interesting band. Did you catch the bit about the inspiration for this particular song? Pretty odd, but they're a pretty odd band. Speaking of odd, you may have caught in the video that their instruments didn't maybe look quite right. They are known for modified stringing of their instruments, which used a reduced number of very unusually heavy gauged strings. Chris Ballin, the vocalist and bassist, uses what he calls the bassitar. It is a 2-string bass with a .060 gauge C sharp string and a .036 gauge G sharp string. That's it, just 2 strings. So it wasn't, when you saw him playing guitar with just two strings, it wasn't for comedic effect. That's actually the way he does it. On the other hand, Dave Detterer, the guitarist, plays what he calls the git bass. It is a 3-string guitar with a .065 gauge C-sharp low string, a .045 G-sharp string, and a .035 gauge C-sharp high string. These are set up so that when they're playing these instruments, no matter what fret they're on, if they just press down all the strings on one fret, they will make a chord. So could be genius, could be the height of laziness, but it certainly does give them a very unique sound. I think it sounds great. There's a certain twangy resonance that feeds through this song, much in the way that the tart resonance filters through this beer. Always entertaining. So let me know what you think. Did you like that? Do you like these types of beers? Do you want me to do more of this type of stuff? Give it a thumbs up. Leave me a comment. More importantly, if you like what I'm doing here, subscribe. And when you subscribe, make sure you hit that notification bell because I'm putting out new content at least once a week, sometimes more. And if you have questions about brewing, about craft beer, about music, about the Easter eggs that I put in these videos and other strange phenomena, leave it in the comment. Let me know. Love to interact. Till then, keep drinking.